peaceful and tranquil spot. And today, the clash of steel was round again, as we welcome back our friends, the Swords of Dalriada. Okay, Fred. Attention.
Get up! Fencing was in God's work here. Fencing that Scotland and English rule would be better together. Take a hike, you idiot.
Ahoy, I'll do them for you. You're not going to believe that, Jack's man.
Alright, beat it! Oh no! Why you pick up something better? No! Be on the way!
Stick one on him.
Sally arrow, Sally! Over the bush! Is that Robert? Oh, there's Robert! It's saying it! Hey! I should keep that tactic to Barnabas!
After the heat.
Are you dead? Oh, he's dead. Send them homeward. Come on, vote no! You don't want to be paying your money in ginger balls! I'll show your English lord how to do it right!
Damn.
Come on, right!
Oh, that.
You can do better! Come on, Alice, nice for Scotland! Yes! Kill him! Kiss my ass! Thanks! Stay back! Stay back, man! Put a helmet on your head, Debbie!
I'm the king.
Vote yes! That's a big hole there! Hey, that's the big guy! That's because the English will call it in! can't keep apart!
What have you done to me?
Bring me that guy's head! Twice over now!
Find me a real king! Hire yourself! Oh, damn it! Nice! Another one for the books. Hey, but we will up for Bannerman!
Well, listen, I'm going to do this myself!
Come on! You sure you don't want to change your colours? You sure? It's nice and cleaner.
Well, they won't be after today. Listen, once I'm done with you, your coat will be the same colour as mine. Red!
Come on.
You won't need it when you're a dead man! Okay. Make a deal with you.
Do we want to keep him alive? No! Should we kill him? Aye! Will we let him kill him? Aye! Smash this thing down! Smash this thing down!
Don't trust him, he'll kill you alive.
That's it! Yeah! Gonna hit that back! Right, get on with your speeches! Get alive! Dead alive!
Thank you. Once again, please put your hands together for the Sons of Dalriada. Please welcome our first speaker today, a member of both the societies, Brian McCutcheon.
Friends, patriots, fellow Scots, when I was asked to do this today, my first thought was to ask our friend Willie Ballantyne to write a speech for me. Any of you that have heard him know that he's very good at this type of thing. And then I thought, nah, we've got Bannockburn on the 21st of June, I don't know if we'll be finished in time. So I just decided to write a few words of my own. It's an honour to have been asked to say a few words here. Loudoun Hill to me has always held a special place. Me being an Ayrshire boy, for one, but the fact, to me it's the precursor of Hampden. Played 2 and won 2. Wouldn't Craig Levine love to have been able to say that, wouldn't he? You know? To go on, I mean, recently, a certain English pop star, who shall remain nameless, caused a wee bit of a stushy with his comments. Now this Englishman, who had won a music award, decided he couldn't be bothered coming back from America. So he sent past a sell-by date supermodel to collect it for him with the finishing line, "Scotland, please don't leave us." What's that got to do with today? Well, one of his songs, "We Can Be Heroes," is very relevant to this place. Here, two of our most famous heroes stood in the face of tyranny and defeated far larger and far better equipped armies. Wallace, the patriot and freedom fighter, excuse me, and Bruce, the warrior king and liberator of Scotland. Both heroes to us all. With a nation of only 5 million, we've produced so many heroes. However, few are remembered today. When I was at school, Scottish history was not on the agenda. We had Hastings, the English Civil War, the Industrial Revolution, the First World War. The only time Scotland was ever mentioned was Culloden, and that's only because we got a Doon there, you know. I was lucky. As an Ayrshire boy, I grew up in a wee seaside village called Maidens, right next to Turnberry. Turnberry Castle was my playground where I was growing up. And my wee granny, who was a red-hot Scot, taught me all about Bruce and Wallace and all the other parts of the Scottish history. She taught me about the heroes, their deeds, the wins, the losses, the victory in 1314, bought and sold for English gold in 1707. Like I said, so many heroes. Wallace had Andrew de Murray, fellow hero of Stirling Brig. Unfortunately, Andrew seems to have been much ignored in history. However, that seems to be changing now. The Bruce had the good Sir James. He had Keith, Lennox and Randolph. And he had Angus Og MacDonald, Lord of the Isles, who sheltered him and protected him after the loss at Methven, and was there up to and after Bannockburn. So many heroes. Flora MacDonald, who helped save the Bonnie Prince. Alexander II, who shaped most of modern day Scotland. Adam Smith, founder of economics. Alexander Graham Bell, the phone. John Logie Baird, the television. Alexander Fleming, penicillin. All Scots, all heroes. Even in sport, Sandy Lyle, winner of the Masters. The Celtic team of 67, the Rangers team of 72, the Aberdeen team of 83, all heroes. More heroes. The late great Jim Clark, Sir Jackie Stewart from the world of motorsport. And today, Andy Murray, who unsurprisingly was Scottish when he lost Wimbledon, but then he was British when he won Olympic gold, and he won the US Open, and then he eventually won Wimbledon itself. And of course, Archie Gemmill in 1978 goal against Holland. Yes. A total demigod among us all. You know, so many more I could mention. Like I say, all from a nation of only 5 million. People whose stories inspire, drive and produce the next generation of heroes. It's up to us to ensure that their legacy is passed on and remembered. What other similar sized nation can make these claims? None that I can think of. This year is a vital crossroads for the nation of Scotland. Loudoun Hill is a symbol of the fight for freedom and victory for the Scottish people. We have a similar prospect in September. This time, we don't need that. We only need that. And the standing army is going to be you and me and everyone else in this great and ancient nation of Scotland. Like the days of Bruce and Wallace, we have those who will frighten, bully, buy and lie to stop a freedom and a free and independent Scotland. More concerning to me is there seems to be some disconcerting voices coming from our own side. I recently read a book which summed it up perfectly to me. The book was a fiction about the life of Wallace, and towards the end, Wallace is in discussion with the Cummin faction and the Bruce faction, and his words I thought were very prevalent. In the speech, Wallace states, Your idea of Scotland is different from their idea of Scotland. And my idea of Scotland is different from both of yours. We can argue who's right and who's wrong until the end of days, but it makes no odds. We don't have a Scotland. My lords, we need to put our ideas and ambitions to bed and stand as one to ensure we have a Scotland free of tyranny and outside interference. Then, and only then, can we have this discussion about whose ideas are the right ones. Like I say, prevalent then, prevalent today. My friends, I hope I haven't bored you too much, and I'd like to finish with this. After...
Keep taking the tablets.
Too much Guinness does that as well. My friends, I hope I've not bored you too much, and I'd like to finish with this. After his coronation at Scone, Robert the Bruce stood and addressed the assembled realm. He said, "My lords, go from this place and make friends and allies. Along with the grace of God, we will need them in the weeks and the months to come." My friends, on the 18th of September, like the song said, you all can be heroes, even if just for that one day. Fellow patriots, thank you for listening to me. Alba Gabra, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Brian. Can I now ask young Charlie to come forward and leave the wreath, please? Thank you very much. The next speaker.
Hold on, Duncan.
Oh, sorry. And a tribute from Saturday Night Design. Thank you, Nicky. We heard of myself there. Thank you very much. The next speaker, the very first speech for the Society. Please give a warm welcome to Abby Stewart.
I stand here today on behalf of the young lions of the Society as I felt it was something I thought would be good for the young people, as my dad is getting so old. We are all here in our warm coats and clothes. After last year, I'm not surprised. And we may well even be standing with our family, which I'm sure we would all fight for, and that's exactly what these men did in about 97. Wallace brought his army full of courage and hoping they would win, which they did. I am standing in front of a standing monument which is dedicated to Wallace and British Army. I am very privileged to be here as a Scot with the same blood in my veins as Wallace, and on the 18th of September I fully expect my fellow Scots to have the same courage of Bruce and Wallace and vote for Scotland's freedom.
Thank you very much. It's your first speak, and it certainly won't be your last. I can assure you that. Please go now have the remainder of the family up here. Vice Convener Society William Wallace. Please welcome Gary Stewart.
Well, I think Duncan done that wrong with putting Abby on and Charlie doing that and then putting me straight on afterwards. So I do apologise for crying here a little bit here. I know. For people that are taking photographs, can we sort of do it before I'm making my speech? Because when I'm speaking, and I've looked at a couple of times and the photographs go on Facebook and whatever else, and I look not right. I don't look as if I'm in this world, you know what I mean? So, I know. Right. I was thinking over the last 2 or 3 weeks with regards to what I was going to say, and people talk about history, it's not relevant to now, and I was just thinking when I spoke to my mum about 7 or 8 years ago, and she was saying, right, okay, right, just give us a book, because all this rubbish that you're involved in now is doing my nutting. So I gave her one of Davy's books, and I got it back within about half an hour. And she was like going, look, listen Gary, it's 700 years ago. Are you off your nut? What is this about? And it sort of went like that. My mum actually went, there's a few more words involved in that, but obviously there's kids here, so I can't go down that route. Now, I had a wee think about this, and I've looked at the society, which I'm a member of. I'm a very proud member. And I was thinking of the likes of Wallace 700 years ago. And I look at Wallace and his leadership that he had. I then looked at the society, who obviously had leadership in Davy R. Ross and Duncan. Then looked at the amount of fights that Wallace had. Then looked at the fights that we've had with the Bell of the Bray, with the Wallace letter. Very, very similar. I then looked at the amount of people that Wallace must have lost throughout his time when he was obviously fighting. We've obviously lost Lachlan McCann and sort of Davy R. Ross as well. So we're in the same boat there. Obviously from Wallace's point of view, he then travelled the world, went to France, possibly Rome. And obviously from a diplomatic point of view, he was very heavily involved in conjunction with that as well. He wasn't just a fighter. I then looked at the society from the diplomatic side of things. Myself came to mind. William Ballantyne came to mind. So basically from the 700 years ago to now, we haven't changed. There's no difference to Wallace now to what we are now. If you then look at kids, and you look at schools and the history of Scottish school kids that have never ever been taught about Scotland, the reason that I'm thinking of is totally really easy to understand. If you want to get kids involved in this country in politics, you can't start talking about politics. Because if you start talking about David Cameron, start talking about Joanne Lamont or whatever her name is, Ed Balls, half that mob there, the kids are going to fall asleep. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to fall asleep, or they're just going to go, oh, Dad, I can't be bothered with this. If you then get involved with Bruce, Wallace, the Jacobites, then chuck in a couple of swords and go, there you go, boys and girls, have a wee go at that. That gets kids involved, and that's why I believe Scottish education run by Westminster history in schools was stopped. Obviously with the SNP in power now, that is totally changing now. I know my two kids are involved with Wallace, the story of Bruce, they're doing the Jacobites now as well, and I think that's all for the future. And I know with Duncan as myself as well, I'm not really involved in sort of bringing politics into speeches at days like this. But I'd like to say something which involves politics to a point. Commemorations, and I just want to say one thing before I go into this. We've been doing Light in the Hill now for what, 4 or 5 years? Now with the Strathleavens and with the Society. I would like to say to William Ballantyne and Ian, who's basically run this single-handedly for the last 4 or 5 years, a tremendous, tremendous effort to both of you, and thanks very much. Now, like a big round of applause, please. I forgot what I was going to say now. From a commemoration point of view, we've got the referendum on the 18th of September. Now, I love coming to do's like this, wherever we do Bannockburn, we do Wallace Day, Falkirk, Culloden, wherever we go, it's tremendous. I really thoroughly enjoy it. But always at the back of my brain is always that little bit where I'm embarrassed. We were coming here to think about our heroes, our fellow Scots that fought and died for Scottish freedom, and we're here part of Britain, not really free. And always at the back of my brain, I'm always going, we've let yous down. And after the 18th of September next year, what I want to do is be able to go to every commemoration that's going and be able to put my hat off to the boys and say, yous didn't die in vain, lads. We're back to where we were before. Thank you very much. Alba
Our next speaker is again a member of both societies. Please welcome Gordon Aiken.
It's good once again to see so brilliant a turnout, especially when you think about the monsoon we had here last year. It might happen again, so I'll make this quick. I'm not really prepared a speech for today, so all I'm going to do is just finish it off with a wee song. And it's not often you get many songs that involve Bruce and Wallace in the one line. So you all know this. Let's give it a go. Scots way with Wallace bled, Scots from Bruce as half times led. Welcome to your gory bed, or to victory. Now's the day and now's the hour, see the front of battle o'er, see approach proud Edward's power, chains and slavery. Oh, would be a traitor knave, oh, can fill a coward's grave, oh, so base as be a slave, let him turn and flee. War for Scotland's king and law, freedom's sword would strongly draw. Free man stand or free man fall, let him follow me. By oppression's woes and pains, by your sons in servile chains, we will drain our dearest veins, but they shall be free. Let the proud usurper law, tyrants fall in every foe, liberties in every blow, let us do our deed. Scots way with Wallace bled, Scots from Bruce as half times led. Welcome to your gory bed, or to victory. Thank you.
Scotland has a long and colourful history during the wars of independence with England. And these are just two of the pivotal moments in time which we covered today. During those long years of conflict, where a whole generation knew nothing else but fighting for their very survival, history only records the names of the great and the good, the noteworthy, who fell on the blood-soaked battlefields scattered across Scotland. Every time we lay a wreath, we also remember the countless nameless others who gave their all for their country. They gave up their future so that Scotland could have a future. When Wallace and Bruce came to this spot, they did not see it as we see it, a place of outstanding natural beauty and solitude. They saw it as an ideal place to stage an ambush. Please take a moment to visualise this and understand the ultimate sacrifice that those brave men made. Compare that to today, as I said, surrounded as we are by the peace and quiet in this tranquil spot, with the hill standing over all, a silent sentinel who witnessed these events, but keeps its bloody secrets to itself. A wee reminder that the Wallace Safe Conduct Letter is now on display in Stirling Castle. The Wallace Society will be visiting this, and on the same day we'll be visiting the Stirling Smith Museum, where our friend Dr. Elspeth King is holding a series of events commemorating Bannockburn, all of which are free. It just remains for me to thank all our participants, our Piper, our battle reenactment guys, our speakers, our Ruth Lear, and everyone who contributed and everyone who's came here today. This is an ideal spot to remember and reflect on the events that happened here and the lives lost during Scotland's struggle to retain her ancient freedoms. As Gary had said, many thanks to William and Anne for keeping this going. So please join us back at the Black Beeler in Darvel, where William's organised a buffet and a full evening's musical entertainment with 2 bands for just a tenner. So please come and meet up with all our old friends and make new friends. Thank you very much for coming here today.
What?